onboarding and the stability of the core gameplay.
Hello, and welcome to my kingdom. I'm Brandon Kahn, your personal experience designer. This is Griever. Today we'll be going over the roadmap of Hyper Fighter 2. But first, this dog wants a walk.
Are you ready?
I'm extremely excited to talk about and show you the roadmap. The first thing we're going to be doing is the tutorial, so that way we can onboard players in a nice smooth way. We recently played Runeterra, and I'm probably going to follow a similar kind of setup as them. But before you go anywhere, let me show you. Hello, didn't see you there. Well, yeah, I don't know why a lot of people start their intros like that, and I just wanted to try it because I thought it would be funny. Okay, so now that I ruined that, let's talk about the roadmap. Thank you for joining me on this Hyper Fighter 2 update. In this video, we're going to go over the roadmap, what you can expect for the future of Hyper Fighter, and kind of where we're at today. We have an open alpha going on right now, so you can set yourself up to play by going to wtmk-bk.itch.io/HF2. If you don't have an account, you can create one, or if you do, you can log in. And we have a store where you can purchase items, and a deck building screen where you can kind of adjust the cards that are in your deck. And we also have a multiplayer matchmaking mode. If you don't find a match, you will be put into an AI match. That's about where the game's at today. And the plan for the future is we want to break the game down into 2 phases before we start our visual overhaul. After the visual overhaul, then we want to go into a multiplayer beta where we create a Steam page and try to get more players involved in the game, more like an early access or beta. So currently you can consider us in alpha. We're building the game, and there are a few features that we want to add. We've broken those features down into 2 phases. So phase 1, we're going to introduce a tutorial as well as an idle timer or action time limit. So phase 1 is primarily focused around onboarding and the stability of the core gameplay. So the first part of phase 1, tutorial and game mechanics breakdown, we want to implement a guided tutorial for new players, explain the core rules. And the basic goal here is to create some sort of an onboarding system so that when you first play the game, you're not completely overwhelmed and you have the tools you need to engage with it properly. Recently, we played Legends of Runeterra, and we're going to follow a similar structure. So as you can see here, we're going to have 3 sections: Becoming a Legend, which will teach you about type matchups, power and damage, and how to win. Section 2 will be focused on unlocking your potential. So we're going to teach you about the effect triggers, how the energy system works, and how you can link cards to increase your power. The final section will be an AI battle where you combine everything you've learned in the previous 2 sections, and if you win, you'll be rewarded with something extra. If you lose, it's fine. At least you'll understand how to play the game. Part of phase 1 is going to be around idle timers and action time limits. So in most multiplayer games, you're going to have an allotted amount of time to take your turn. But on top of that, you will always have some sort of like time limit to interact with your cards. I'll give an example in the Pokemon card game. So you see here we have 25 minutes to start the game, or to make our turns throughout the entire game. Once your turn starts, the timer will consistently tick down. So if you ever run out of time, then you lose the match. But as well, you can see here, if we don't make an interaction for a period of time, we're going to have some sort of messaging around that we must take our turn or our turn will end. So here we go, about 15 seconds in, it tells us that we have 15 seconds to make an action. So jumping back into Hyper Fighter now, we don't have any sort of kind of time limit. I did put this UI element here to where it shows like an active time bar, and that will tick down. I don't think we're going to do a similar turn system as in Pokemon where you have an allotted time for the whole match. I just think that we're going to keep it like 20 seconds per action, And that, I feel like, should keep the game snappy and moving forward. And if you don't make an action, it will, in the face-off phase, it'll just randomly play. It'll play the top card of your deck, and in the offensive or defensive phase, it'll just end your turn. And I think this will allow, like I said, the games to stay kind of like snappy and moving forward, without having to create this long, sort of drawn out. Because we want it to feel more tactical than strategical. This is sort of a fighting game, more or less, in a game about. I mean, it still is a card game. It still has like engine building and economy type mechanics, but we want it to feel more like a fast-paced fighting game than an engine building game. Once we have those things working well, we want to take some time to work on the overall structure and flow of the game. We want to make sure that the economy is balanced. So when you play a normal match, you're going to lose money if you lose, and you're going to earn double what you spent. We're also going to add in ranked card that you can purchase from the shop. This will allow you to participate in the ranked mode that will happen in the future. The goal here is to develop the economy and progression systems. Once we've worked out those things and we've play tested with you guys, we're going to move on to phase 2. Phase 2 will introduce 2 new modes into the game. So we have an arcade mode. It's going to be very similar to like a roguelike experience, where you'll start with a limited number of cards, and as you play and progress through, you're going to earn more cards. And in between a certain amount of matches, you might have the ability to do some risk reward type things, maybe a little bit of degeneracy. After we have that working, this mode is going to be your primary way to earn gold. In the regular matches, you will, like I said, wager gold in order to participate. So roguelike mode will be strictly about earning gold and learning the deep mechanics of the game. After that's working smoothly and it's feeding back into our economy, and we feel like that system works well, we're going to introduce ranked mode. So ranked mode, you will use your ranked card. You'll be able to purchase a ranked card from the shop, and having that ranked card will will give you like some number of tokens, and then you'll be able to play ranked matches against other players, wagering some number of tokens. Once you lose all of your tokens, then the opposing player who took your last token will rip your card up and take its effect. So each ranked card will have some effects. They'll have I'll go into that later on in the future when we actually work on ranked mode, but I want to develop something that is competitive and interesting that no other card game is doing right now. Hey, I know that was a mouthful, so let's just take some time to reel it back a little bit and talk about what we're going to focus on right now. So, like I said, our primary focus is So before we do anything else, I want to get the tutorial working well and get input from the community, from you. If you've made it this far, I greatly appreciate it. If you could hit the subscribe button, it would help me out a ton. Also, if you're interested in the game at all, please join the Discord and give me your feedback. Tell me what you don't like about the game or why it will fail. And before I let you go, I just want to commit to some dates. So phase 1 is going to, let's just say, the tutorial breakdown and mechanics. I want to have an alpha or something testable by the end of the month. Until then, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Run away as fast as you can.